President Assad sends a letter to the President of Nicaragua who expresses hope of Syria's victory against foreign plots. Nasrallah says Syria is targeted by its enemies and there is someone who tampers with the security of the region for the sake of Israel. Demonstrations against the constitutional announcement of President Mursi continue in Cairo. Good afternoon. Welcome to our news bulletin. I'm Dania Nizam. President Bashar al-Assad sent a letter to President José Daniel Ortega of Nicaragua. Dr. al-Mikdad, Deputy Foreign Minister, delivered the letter through Mr. Miguel de Escoto, Advisor for Political Affairs, authorized by President Ortega. Mr. Escoto denounced all attempts to intervene in Syria's internal affairs. He expressed support for Syria against the foreign plots targeting its independence and sovereignty. He expressed readiness to assist Syria to confront these plots. Mr. al-Mikdad expressed Syria's gratitude for Nicaragua's noble attitude and defense of the just Arab causes in the world. Units of our armed forces continued their national task of chasing the terrorists of al-Qaeda who commit crimes of murder, sabotage and looting. They destroyed the equipment of these terrorists in Daraa, Hejera and al-Zayabiya in the Damascus countryside. A unit of our armed forces clashed with a terrorist group and killed a number of terrorists in Daraa. Another unit carried out an operation in Faiz Mansour Street in Hejera and killed one of the most dangerous terrorists called Maaz Numeri. They destroyed a pickup vehicle full of armed terrorists. Our armed forces also clashed with al-Qaeda terrorists in al-Zayabiya and destroyed their mortar gun. In Aleppo, a unit of our Syrian Arab army clashed with a terrorist group affiliated to al-Qaeda at al-Bakara crossing near al-Kindi hospital. Many terrorists were killed in the clashes and many others were injured as 4 vehicles equipped with Doshka machine guns were destroyed, as well as a car full of terrorists and ammunition. Among the terrorists killed were Abdullah Ramadan al-Jasim, Hussein Ali al-Faraj and others. In Daraa, Syrian Arab Army units seized about 197,000 narcotic pills of Captagon drug. The drugs were discovered in a secret bunker of a pickup near the old border center. Investigations showed that the car was on its way to the Jordanian border, where the smuggled drugs will be carried in a passenger bus to be smuggled abroad. Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah asserted that some suspicious people were trying to make Israel a friend of Lebanon and Iran an enemy. Such attempts showed that these suspicious people to be servants of Israel. Mr. Nasrallah congratulated the people of steadfast Gaza for their victory on the Zionist enemy. He considered this as a victory for the blood of martyrs against the sword of aggression. He asserted that the cause of Palestine remained the cause of all honest Arabs. He called for supporting Gaza with money and weapons to assist its valiant resistance. He wondered if Israel would bear the fall of thousands of rockets on Tel Aviv and elsewhere in Israel if it attacked Lebanon. Mr. Nasrallah called for supporting the wronged Syrian people whose very existence is being threatened. The chairman of the Iranian Shura, Majlis Ali Larijani, asserted that NATO's deployment of Patriot missiles in Turkey would have negative effects on the region. At the end of his tour in Syria, Lebanon and Turkey, he said that such missiles would only exacerbate problems in the region. He said that opinions were compatible about regional affairs, including the crisis in Syria. He called upon security officials in the Middle East to exert more joint efforts to find a solution for the crisis. Egyptian authorities announced that extremists detonated explosive charges in 2 security bases in Sinai, wounding 3 workers. On the other hand, clashes continued this morning for the 7th day running between Egyptian demonstrators and the security forces, which fired tear gas bombs to disperse them from al-Tahrir Square in Cairo. The demonstrators staged a sit-in to protest against the constitutional announcement made by President Mohammed Mursi last Thursday. 18 political parties issued a statement of protest and called for massive demonstrations next Tuesday to bring down this new constitutional announcement. In occupied Palestine, the forces of Israeli occupation stormed several towns in the West Bank and detained a number of Palestinian citizens. They also erected roadblocks and began to inspect vehicles and to hinder movement in several towns and villages. The Minister of Industry, Dr. Adnan al-Sukhni, highlighted the necessity of establishing clusters for raw materials and linking between the industrial establishments. He stressed the importance of adopting new mechanisms for choosing industrial zones, specifying their activities, discussing the suggested industrial zones regarding their plans and names, subsidizing the small and medium-sized establishments and supporting them technically, in addition to setting up a database to achieve integration among industries. This concludes our news bulletin for today, and now it's over to our economic news with Vani. God bless you and God bless our beloved Syria.